Yeah. Run It Back Nation, what is good? It is your boy, DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back Philly. You know the drill. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros ever again. Before the stream started, I saw somebody in the chat that said, let me give you a beat for your intro. The answer to that is hell no. Just do a little bit of research. You'll find out why. That beat is straight from YouTube's catalog, so I'd never get copywritten ever again. What is up, my people? Hit the like button on the stream. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Become a member of the channel. And buy the merch. RunItBackMerch.com. James Harden's home debut for the Philadelphia 76ers. Man, I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. It still looks crazy to me. It still looks wild. James Harden out there in a Sixers jersey. You know, earlier today, we got the Allen Iverson tweet. Welcome home. We got Allen Iverson, who I watched my entire life, welcoming one of the best NBA players of our generation to Philadelphia to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, Harden retweets it. He says, I can't wait. Wilt Chamberlain, anniversary of Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. Everything was so Philadelphia tonight. It was unbelievable. Wilt's family's out there to ring the bell. And Harden finishes his home debut with 26, 9, and 9. Almost another triple-double. I mean, the guy's a walking triple-double. He just is. He makes it look easy. He really does. This game was ups and downs. The Knicks put up a fight at certain points of the game. But, man, the crowd. James said he was so. Here's the thing, man. I don't want to forget to say this. We got J.J. Redick calling the game. J.J. Redick has said before that his favorite place to play in his entire NBA career was in front of Philadelphia fans. And he said it again on this broadcast. The 2 years here were some of his favorite years in his NBA career, playing in front of Philadelphia fans. And then James Harden post-game with the mic on the court still says, everybody in the world knows how great these fans are. I had jitters. James Harden, somebody who played 9 years in Houston, has been in the league for, I think, 11 or 12 years. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong there. This guy is at the top of the top of the top when it comes to NBA talent and ability, and he had jitters playing in front of the Philadelphia fans. It's different out here, man. It's different, man. The energy's different. The DJ drops Eminem, Lose Yourself right before the intros. Are you kidding me? What are the odds I dropped an Eminem bar randomly on a YouTube video earlier today for absolutely no reason whatsoever? And they drop Eminem, Lose Yourself to hype up the crowd and everybody before they announce the players. Then, of course, they hit you with some Meek Mill. There's just so much energy in this arena. You can imagine it. You can watch them walking throughout the tunnel, and you can just kind of imagine how much different it is walking in front of this crowd versus other NBA crowds. It just is what it is, you know? Do you think James Harden was excited to play in front of the New Jersey Nets? He said that one game there was a lot of Knicks fans in the building. So it is what it is. Philadelphia is a wonderful place to play. And everybody outside of Philadelphia that hates it, they just don't get it. They just don't. They're totally wrong. They're 100% wrong. Michelle Beadle, everybody else that's hating on the situation, they're 100% wrong. I mean, Maxey, Harden, and Embiid are playing out of their minds. Maxey's averaging 25 points per game since Harden came here. Matisse Thybulle looks like an NBA-level basketball player. Joel Embiid's continuing what he's doing. Absolutely dominant, the most dominant center in the league. I just don't. I'll never understand the hate. I'll never understand the this isn't going to work, people. It's just ridiculous. There's no way you know ball and you think this wasn't going to work. The guy on FS1, I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not going to spend much time on it. My guy RB ripped into him. If you didn't see that video, go check it out. It's hilarious. said these two players are ISO players and aren't going to work together, Joel Embiid and James Harden, like how much more wrong could you be about something? And I say TV's dying. I mean, FS1, who would voluntarily like flip the channel to FS1 to watch people talk about sports? So that's where we're at with that. Good debut for James Harden. You know, he was actually rolling in the first half. I think he finished the first half with 19 points. I thought maybe he would drop a 40 bomb. That would have been awesome. Doc Rivers' lineup staggers were interesting, to say the least. You know, I know we complain if he keeps the starters out there and then does an all-bench lineup. So he was trying really hard, and like he said he was going to do, he was trying really hard to not have an all-bench lineup on the floor, and he was trying really hard to always have one of Tyrese Maxey or James Harden in the game at any given time. But for me, it kind of worked out to be staggering Harden and Embiid separately a little bit too much for me as the game went on. Like, I think the first half, I didn't see a whole lot of Harden and Embiid together. And the second half, I didn't see a whole lot of Harden and Embiid together. And I think that was part of, you know, I mean, it's all new. It's an experiment. I get it. You know, it's an experiment for James Harden to show up and just start playing without knowing any of the plays. It's an experiment for Joel Embiid to just randomly learn how to play with finally a point guard that is a threat to shoot and can control the defense. And it's an experiment for Doc Rivers to figure out lineups and what works and what doesn't work. I thought tonight was not the best. But I thought it was something that kind of he had to do as an experiment, talking about Harden's minutes and Embiid's minutes. If we're going to stagger, I want to see a lot more Harden and Embiid together and a lot more Maxey running around by himself with that bench unit, because I just think he's an absolute bucket. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it. But again, I'm not like complaining that much because we're trying to figure it out as we go. It was just weird. Like, Joel Embiid played 11 minutes in the first quarter. I don't think he's ever done that in his career. And then I was like, so he's going to bring Harden back, and then he's going to play till what minute? Like, I was trying to figure it out, and I couldn't actually figure it out. And then it kind of bled into the fourth quarter where you had Embiid in the game, or Embiid was out to start the fourth quarter. We started the fourth quarter with Paul Millsap, which I'll get into that in a second, because the backup center position is still something that's going to have to be worked on as the end of the season rolls near the playoffs. But we start the fourth quarter with Paul Millsap and Harden, and then Harden goes out at the 9-minute mark. Embiid and Maxey come in, and then Harden's out like kind of most of crunch time fourth quarter until like 3.5 minutes left. Then he comes back in. So I don't know. I think Doc was trying to be different than he normally is, which I commend him. I commend him for not doing the same thing he always does. So I commend him for trying to be different with the lineups, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. The Knicks put up a fight, of course. They got size, they got length, they got athleticism. You know, Mitchell Robinson, all those boys under the basket. What's the kid's name? Sims. There's a couple other big guys under there, but they got size. They put up a fight. Julius Randle had 19 in the first half. I actually tweeted Julius Randle's going to go ice cold in the second. He's going to go ice cold in the second half. Watch what happens. He might not score a point in the second half. He scored 6 in the 19 in the first and finished the game with, 24? 19 in the first half and 5 points in the second half. I mean, some of these dudes were hitting shots. Like, RJ Barrett was absolutely on fire for 3 quarters. And he finished the game with 36 rebounds, 7 assists. So phenomenal game from RJ Barrett. Julius Randle was abnormally on fire in the first half, and this ain't going to last. You guys know how much I slander this dude. He's an athlete, he's a talent, but he's almost like a big left-handed Russell Westbrook to me. He doesn't have a basketball IQ, and he's going to shoot you out of games. And I knew he would go cold in the second half, and he did. But I thought that was basically the main reason the Knicks hung around so much in the first half was their phenomenal shooting performances and also our rebounding issues. And that's going to lead me to the Paul Millsap thing because I don't understand. You know, we signed Cauley-Stein, okay? We got out-rebounded by 6 in the first half off the top of my head, I believe. But the number that I know I'm right about is the Knicks had 8 offensive rebounds in the first half. And that's just something that's going to kill us like in the playoffs if we're playing teams like the Bucks, the Miami Heat, you know, teams that are athletic, big, and can rebound. I don't think we can have Paul Millsap out there because he's 6'8". I mean, he had 5 minutes in the first half. He had 1 rebound, 2 turnovers, and was a -8 in the plus-minus. And then we start the fourth quarter with Paul Millsap again. I'm like, do you not have to try something else? Like we were saying on the stream the other night, I don't know if Cauley-Stein is like, maybe he's not in basketball shape yet, whatever. All I know is he's 7 damn feet tall. All I know is you're getting out-rebounded like crazy and he's 7 feet tall. And all I know is Charles Bassey, yeah, he's a rookie, but he's 6'11". So when you're getting destroyed on the boards, you know, maybe put a taller guy in there. I don't know. Try something different. It's not like Paul Millsap is actually giving you anything. The biggest story of this game got to be Tyrese Maxey, man. It's got to be Tyrese Maxey. It has to be. It has to be Tyrese Maxey. The kid is unbelievable. And, you know, when we sign James Harden, or we trade for James Harden, of course, everything that was going to be talked about was James Harden and Joel Embiid, James Harden and Joel Embiid, James Harden and Joel Embiid. But really, like, we didn't understand what we knew a little bit. Like we were saying, this is going to allow Tyrese Maxey to run around and be free and play more of his own game where he was trying to learn how to be more of a half-court facilitator in the beginning of the season because he was the only point guard on the roster. But I don't think anybody imagined the first 3 games would go this well for Tyrese Maxey. And, you know, the hating Nets fans had everything in the book to say, you know, you guys gave all your depth and now you only have Harden and Embiid and blah, blah, blah. We might have a big 3, guys. We might have a big 3. This kid's 21 years old, but we might have a big 3 because of the fact that you have to pay so much attention to Joel Embiid and James Harden. And Tyrese Maxey is actually so damn good and lethal and just quick and crazy in space and gets to the rim like a lightning bolt and can finish at the rim and can draw fouls at the rim and all of those things he had coming in. But his 3-point shot has improved so much in 1 year. I'm actually totally shocked at how much it improved in one offseason. He's shooting 41% from 3-point range. He had, in the third quarter, a James Harden step back from the top of the key right next to James Harden. With James Harden looking at him, calling for the ball. If you watch the play again a couple times over, the defense kind of rotates to Maxey, and Harden's like, yo. And he just hits that one dribble, boom, steps behind the 3-point line, puts it up. Harden points his finger in the air. He's so damn happy that we got a coach on the floor teaching Tyrese Maxey how to be a lethal scorer in the NBA. That's going to take me in a whole different direction than just breaking down this game. Because if Tyrese Maxey got drafted to a scrub team and never got to play with a guy like James Harden, he would still develop because I think he has potential to be great. But imagine how great Tyrese Maxey could be by the time he's 25, 26, 27 years old by playing beside James Harden for maybe 5 years. That's scary, if you ask me. But even right now, James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey are a big 3, if you ask me. Crew said, thank you for the support. Toby, the overpaid 4th option. Get him out of here. I guess I got to go Tobias Harris a little bit. Tobias Harris was again not brutal, I won't say. I mean, the first game he finished the game with 6 points. I think the second game he finished with 10. He had 14 in this game. He had a couple of buckets in the fourth quarter in a row that kind of made up for the other times that he was atrocious. But there was a stretch in the third quarter where Tobias had the hesitation thing for me is the problem with Tobias. James said it after game 2 that Tobias, he's hesitating too much. You got to just catch the ball and shoot it, especially when you're running off James Harden, Joel Embiid, double teams. You're catching wide open threes. You got to just let it fly. He had a stretch in the third quarter that was brutal. He had a mismatch in the paint. Pump faked a wide open 5-footer and made him. Here's what Tobias Harris does. He passes up easy shots and elects to take harder ones. And I can't figure out why. He pump fakes a 5-footer and then tries to do an up and under and makes it a more difficult shot than the first one was and misses that. Then he had a missed layup. Then he had like a turnover right after that. The crowd starts booing. Then he missed. Then once the crowd starts booing, Tobias, all of his confidence goes out the window. And then like pretty much the next possession, Harden draws a double team, kicks it to Tobias, who's more open than he's probably been the entire season. I mean, there wasn't anybody within a country mile of the guy, and he drove into the lane. He didn't want to shoot it. So Tobias Harris gets killed by this crowd, and I actually don't think it's fair. And I'm the biggest, boo somebody who sucks person ever. I am. But I don't think it's fair for Tobias Harris to be booed just for stinking at the game. I think he's having trouble right now fitting in with this, obviously. James Harden comes here. Tobias is kind of like, I don't know what the hell to do. What do I do? James is running the show. Joel's the second option. Tyrese is clearly the third option. I guess I just got to run around, and he just looks out of place. And then the crowd kills his confidence when they boo him. But it's Philly, man. It's the way it is. It's Philly. You got to be tough. You got to have thick skin and be able to keep your confidence up when the crowd gets on you like that. But it's tough for Tobias because, like we say all the time, they offered him $180 million. You would have said no to that? Nobody in their right mind is going to be like, nah, you know what? I'm not that good. You guys are overpaying me. All right, so I'll take less. No. You're taking $180 million from a couple of billionaires that are writing checks. So you can't be mad at Tobias for taking the money. But realistically, he's just not that good. and in this offense particularly, he looks very out of place because playing off of a point guard like James Harden, playing off of a center like Joel Embiid, most of your opportunities are going to be wide open threes, and you have to catch it and shoot it. Furkan getting booed. Here's the thing. Philadelphia fans understand the game so well. And Furkan got booed too. But, it was kind of a boo Doc Rivers type of thing. Like, you can tell that this crowd knows ball. And I really think they were booing the fact that Furkan Korkmaz was in the game in the first half. That's what that was. He's awful at this point. You can't, what is it? What is it with Furkan Korkmaz? What is it? What does he do that Shake Milton and Isaiah Joe can't do? And I said it last game, I can't figure out how, once Shake was healthy, Furkan Korkmaz was the first guy off the bench. If you're looking for a ball handler off the bench on this team, there's not many options, but Shake Milton is a million times better than Furkan Korkmaz. I know Shake's not much of a three-point shooter, but Shake came in the game and immediately had 2 nice drives to the basket, a really tough finish in the lane around a defender. And I'm like, I better not see Korkmaz the rest of this game. And actually, we didn't see Korkmaz the rest of this game until deep into the fourth quarter when, the whole deep bench was on the floor. So it'll be interesting to see if Doc Rivers' love affair with Furkan Korkmaz continues for much longer. But that first half for Furkan Korkmaz was absolutely brutal. The crowd was booing him. I'm going with the fact that the crowd was booing the fact that Furkan Korkmaz was in the game. And that's where I'm at with it. But it's the thing that we say, listen, it's all chemistry thing, learning each other, brand new roster, everybody learning their roles. I don't know if Tobias will figure it out. I don't know if Doc Rivers will figure it out with the love affair with Furkan Korkmaz, but that's where I'm at with it. Joel finishes with 27, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. I thought the Knicks played better defense this game than they played 2 nights ago. The game didn't look super easy for James Harden like it did 2 nights ago, even though he still finished with almost a 26-point triple-double. But I think the Knicks put up more of a fight, and then they just collapsed in the second half because, it was unrealistic shooting really in the first half, and we kind of knew that was going to happen. I did have a parlay. I took Evan Fournier at over 15.5 because he always kills us, and who would have thought the parlay that I actually take Evan Fournier at plus 15.5, the guy goes 1 for 8, can't buy a bucket. That's why I should never bet sports ever. Where are my notes at, man? Let's just break it down, man. So we start the game out a little bit slow, right? We were down by 13-ish in the first half, maybe more than in the first quarter. I'm sorry, maybe more than that. And we were down by 9 at one point, and we immediately went on a 9-0 run. James Harden scored 6 straight points, his first points in front of the home crowd as a Philadelphia 76er. What do you have? A step back 3 and then an and 1. And then he hits Matisse Thybulle at the top of the key, who steps into a wide open 3, takes a dribble because he's so wide open, and hits it. And I'm like, wow, did Matisse Thybulle just do that? Because Ben Simmons is a guy that I think of every time I see Matisse Thybulle on the floor in the half court, and it's the fact that he's willing to shoot it. Are you going to make him? I don't know, Matisse Thybulle, but at least he's willing to catch the damn ball at the top of the key and shoot it. At least he understands that much about basketball that, okay, the point guard just ran a play, went around a pick and roll. The defense smothered him. He turned, and I'm the wide open guy. I have to shoot it. And he hit it. And I think Matisse hit another one. He hit another one from the corner a little bit later in the fourth quarter. So Matisse Thybulle had 10 points, 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 3 from the three-point line, 2 assists. He didn't record any steals, but he had deflection off of a dude's leg that went out of bounds, like Matisse Thybulle type of things like that. He had a block into the fourth row. So the James Harden effect is not just affecting Tyrese Maxey. It's making a player who I rant and raved about for months now, has no offensive skill set, look like a competent, maybe NBA starter. He finished last game with 8 points. He finished this game with 10 points, and he was 2 for 3 from the three-point line. And one of them actually was Tobias Harris passing up a wide open 3 and swinging it around the perimeter, ended up in Matisse Thybulle's hands in the corner, and he hit it. So, man, the James Harden effect is just making the damn every player on the team just that much better, man. Gerard Smith, what's up, man? Thanks for being a member. Thybulle's willingness to shoot definitely makes me more confident in him. Just shoot. Exactly. Just shoot it. That's what you have to do. And nobody expects you to do anything amazing. All they expect you to do is play good defense and shoot the ball when you're open. Mr. Dread, what's up, man? Thanks for being a member. I got hurt betting too, DJ. I needed one more 3 and 3 more assists from Harden. Would have been 350. It's a tough bet, man. It's tough, especially after he had 16 assists last game. I had him at over 11.5 assists, too, and he had 9. But that is what it is, you know. The house always wins, man. It's not like these casinos are losing money. Lucci Produce, thanks for being a member. 76ers Uruguay, thanks for being a member. Corky can't improve even with MJ on the team. We got to give up on the Korkmaz experiment, man. We got to give up on the Korkmaz experiment, man. We have to. So where are we at? Second quarter, the Knicks start out the second quarter on a 10-0 run. That's when the fans started booing Furkan Korkmaz. He only had 4 minutes in the game. I felt like he had 20. There's Shake Milton had the 2 nice drives, and that's right when I said I better not see Korkmaz ever again. Harden took a charge. This guy's washed. This guy's out of shape. This guy doesn't care. This guy doesn't play any defense. He's so happy to be out of Brooklyn. He's so happy to be away from guys like Kyrie Irving. He's so happy to be in Philadelphia in front of this crowd. He had jitters. One of the top 75 players of all time had jitters in front of this crowd. And then he steps in front of a charging, who was it? Obi Toppin, I think, maybe, and takes a charge. And even J.J. Redick and you know, who was the other guy? That was like, you don't see that very often. I mean, man, I think the energy that Harden's putting out on this team, it's not just him giving out energy. I think he's getting a level of energy and motivation and excitement being on this team and being here. That's helping him. That's helping him get his game back a little bit. Also, Embiid gets teed up in the second quarter, which I thought was funny. You don't often see Joel Embiid screaming at the refs like that, running after. I'm like, wait, this dude's about to get kicked out of the game. Like, you need to chill, Joe. Like, you need to, yell at the refs, get a tech, but please don't get kicked out of the game. That was funny to me. I don't know Doc Rivers with Paul Millsap and Cauley Stein, why he's deep-rooted on the bench. I guess he's just not in NBA shape yet. I don't know, man. You can't have a 6'8" backup center. There's got to be something else that happens. Well, the DeAndre Jordan thing, he got bought out. It was the 76ers are rumored to be the team that's, the leading team that's going to sign him. I mean, I'll take DeAndre Jordan. That's the thing. But DeAndre Jordan's what? Yeah, so is Paul Millsap, bro. And he's 6'8". He's getting people are taking rebounds over the top of his head from behind. You got to have a taller guy there. You got to have some more size. So you got to take DeAndre Jordan, I guess, if that's the only guy available in the buyout market. So I guess we'll see if that happens. Down 7 at the half. Like I said, the Knicks had 8 offensive rebounds in the first half. It felt like the Knicks were having one of their best games, like the best game they could possibly have in the first half against us, and we were only down 7. That's why we all basically knew this, wasn't going to be, they weren't going to win this game. You just knew. There's no way James Harden, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and this crew is actually going to lose to the Knicks at home. And they were only down 7 at the half. And then, we come out the third quarter. We go on a run right away, and I tweeted right away. I think 2 minutes into the third quarter, I said this game's over. That's it. Play 1 of the second half. James Harden step back, pump fake, throws a dime to Embiid under the rim for an and one. That's when Matisse, the very next possession, Matisse slaps the ball off of somebody's leg. James Harden comes back down the floor, draws another double team, kicks it over to Embiid for a wide open 3, and that was the game was literally over about a minute into the third quarter. And this is where Tobias Harris had a little bit of a rough stretch. Pump fakes a 5-footer, has a turnover, passes up a wide open 3. Crowd starts booing. And when James Harden went out of the game, Tyrese Maxey took over. In the third quarter, just line drives to the basket. Just that's what I love so much about this, because I don't think Tyrese Maxey is a point guard. I don't think he's a facilitating point guard. I don't think, and I've said this before with Doc trying to compare him to Rajon Rondo or trying to make him into Rajon Rondo. That's something that's natural. Like, you can teach a lot of players a lot of things. Ben Simmons' facilitating ability, it's natural. You can teach a lot of players a lot of things. I don't think you can teach Tyrese Maxey to do what James Harden does, for example. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but I just like the fact that Tyrese Maxey gets to run around and do his thing and just take the ball, dart to the rim, draw fouls. And they were saying that he's learning to not rely on that floater also. Like we used to see last year and even the beginning of this season, he would do that floater like way too much. And I used to even say it, take another dribble, take an extra dribble and go right at the defender and draw a foul instead of trying to do a floater every time. And now he does that. It's actually amazing how much Tyrese Maxey has learned and has evolved his game and developed in like one offseason. Like, those, learning to not rely on a floater that he's probably done his entire career. It's pretty damn impressive. The Sixers had a 38-point third quarter. And then in the fourth, we had another Maxey run. He hits the James Harden step back. And then the spin three with the shot clock running down was just ridiculous. I don't even know what to say anymore about Tyrese Maxey, man. But we got a big three. I really think we do. Man. What you guys think, man? Give me your thoughts in the chat. Call the show, 717-827-6203. If you want to give your thoughts, chat it up for a little while here, man. I'll be up here for, maybe 25 more minutes, maybe 20 more minutes. Yeah, the Sixers get the win Wednesday night over the Knicks. We haven't really, Minnesota, New York. We'll get a real test. This weekend, man. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
What's good, my man? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. I just got done watching the game. Hey, what's your dream playoff bracket for us? You think for the Sixers to make it to the finals? You think?
Dream playoff bracket. What are we in, third seed right now? Miami's 1. Who's number 2? Yeah,
we half a game back of the Bulls, but they play the Hawks tomorrow, so I think they don't lose. So
the Bulls are 2.
And the Hawks but we half a game back. So and Miami just lost to the Bucks tonight. So
my dream playoff bracket, honestly. You think we could take the 1 seed? I haven't looked at the standings for a little while, honestly.
Yeah, we 2 games back from the Heat, so yeah, I think we can take it. We play the Heat Saturday.
Okay, I like it. Well, then in that case, my dream scenario is quite obviously the Nets being the 8 seed and us being the 1 seed and forcing Ben Simmons to come to Philadelphia as soon as possible for a first-round playoff series.
Then, yeah. And who you want the second round then?
I don't think it's going to be easy either way. You're going to play either Miami or Milwaukee probably right there, right? I'd probably rather play Miami just because Milwaukee's more experienced, maybe a little deeper. I'd rather play Miami over Milwaukee. So I go Brooklyn,
Milwaukee, I guess.
I go Brooklyn, Miami. And then you'd probably end up playing Milwaukee anyway.
And then the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we beat the Bucks in 6, especially we didn't have James Harden and kind of stink them.
Well, I don't think it'll be easy. I think the James Harden thing makes us a lot better offensively, but I think we definitely got some flaws that are standing out when it comes to, as soon as James Harden's on the bench and Doc Rivers with his little Furkan Korkmaz love affair, man. I don't know, but
we got to get him and Danny out of there, man.
I think we can win the title with this team though. That's the thing. I think we can.
Oh,
before this trade, it was pretty much we were we're not doing anything until this Ben Simmons thing is over. So I think we can. And I think Doc's trying to be a little bit more creative. It's just an experiment right now. That's all it is.
Absolutely. I'm seeing the Suns lose, the Jazz. Grizzlies, I mean, Shaw's playing good, but he can't carry a whole team 7 games. So, I mean, Golden State, too. I mean, they've lost 5 of the last 7 games. I mean, I think we got a good shot to make it.
Yeah, it's the NBA's wide open right now, man. It's wild, actually. After how many years of the Warriors and like LeBron and the Warriors dominating every year, you know what I mean? It's nice. It's a nice time to be an NBA fan. It's definitely wide open, man.
Nice time to be a Sixers fan, obviously.
Absolutely, man. Yo, thanks for the call, man. You got anything else for me?
No, man, appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
You too, bye.
Yo, what's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
Yo, what's up, DJ?
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? All right, I just got I got a lot to say about this, man.
Let's do it.
I've been a Sixers fan. I've been from Sixers fan since Michael Carter Williams, Nerlens Noel, Andrew Bynum, all that dumb shit that we went through, bro. And now we at the fucking promised land. This is what we've been fucking waiting for. I'm here to speak some positivity on the situation. We go into the fucking finals.
I got a bang on you, man. You can't. It was gonna be a good call too, man. You just can't be dropping all the F-bombs, man. I gotta YouTube flags it, then I gotta dispute it, and then So if you call, man, try not to drop the F-bombs, bro. If this is maybe we're gonna give him a second chance here. If you call back, call back, bro. Yo. Oh, now what's going on, man? Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Yo, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah, man. I was just thanks for having me on the show, man. I watch you all the time, man. I think what you put out is really great, man. My name's Rock from West Philly.
Oh, what's up, man? Shout out to West Philly. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. I just wanted to give my couple of thoughts. First of all, that was a great win. I don't care who was against. I always like a dub. Gets my week going. But one thing that I'm kind of noticing with our offense, and maybe because it's so new, is that we get caught standing around. Like a lot of times, if it's in Harden's hand or if it's in JoJo's hand, it's like they get caught watching them to what they're going to do next. And I just wish Doc Rivers would probably maybe show them video of Reggie Miller, how he used to get open, and maybe even Steph gets open now for Golden State.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's kind of what I see, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You don't see a whole lot of running baseline side to side or like pin down screens or underneath screens or anything like that kind of.
And that could be because it's so, like I said, it's so new, chemistry and all that good stuff. But I just wish they wouldn't get caught up as they did. Like if they just, because like I remember just watching Reggie Miller being relentlessly trying to get himself open, moving without the ball. A lot of those drills got to get implemented because you got a lot of people that can get open and finish at the hoop. So.
That is true, man. I agree.
Yeah, but I want to hold you up too much, man. I was out here on the road, man. I was up there, losing my mind for the game. Talking trash to these Ohio people out here just because I was in the area, and plus we about to have them up next. So I was talking my little trash to the Cleveland. I don't know what you call them, Cleveland Knights, whatever they are out here. But just let them know that the wave is coming through. So thanks for having me on, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna stay locked in.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. It's like Harden said, like we're just winging it. Like he said that. He said I don't really know any of the plays. I'm out here winging it. So but he's that good that he can just show up and play pickup YMCA basketball in the greatest basketball league in the world. That's just how good the guy is. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
DJ Eastwood, this is Dex, man. Love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. Been following you on Twitter for a minute now.
Thanks, man. What's up?
Yeah, a couple thoughts about the game. I thought Doc did a pretty good job, honestly. You mentioned the staggered lineups thing. I agree. It was kind of hard seeing. Like, I would like to see Embiid and Harden get reps on the floor together more, but I would prefer having a legitimate offensive threat to score on the court at all times. So, I mean, I think it was worth trying out. And you could tell we were really force-feeding Tobias, just trying to get anything from him today. And It was not pretty, but I'd rather get through these kind of growing pains early so that he can get comfortable by the time the playoffs roll around.
Yeah, and I hope he does. And I'm pretty sure, like, towards the fourth quarter, he had a nice just catch and shoot three, and, like, that's just what you got to do. And it's not like he's a terrible three-point shooter or something. He misses one and then he hesitates, or he has a turnover and then he loses confidence and then, doesn't want to shoot it.
Yeah, that's facts. But I appreciate him keeping Perk on a short leash, because it's like he was hearing all my tweets about subbing him out, and Isaiah Joe needs to get all his minutes. But you already know that.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I don't understand what the benefit of Korkmaz is at this point.
But yeah, that's it, man. Keep doing you. Really love the show.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Yeah, like, that's why I said, like, I wasn't really trying to complain about the Doc. I was happy about the fact that Doc was trying to be different. He didn't go with the same exact, like, this rotation for this many minutes and then this all bench lineup for 9 minutes. And then, so at least we got some staggering. It's an experiment. And I actually commend him for, as old and stubborn as he is, for making an effort to, be creative with the lineups. But, I think the James Harden, Joel Embiid pick and roll is absolutely so unstoppable that should be your main weapon most of the game. I don't think you really want Joel and Harden to be separate from each other the majority of the game, and I really think that's what ended up happening in this game with his lineups. But we'll have to see what he does moving forward. What's going on? You're on Running Back Philly. What's up, man?
Not much, bro. What'd you think of tonight's game? You happy with it?
Yeah, man, we got a dub. Harden goes 26-9-9. His debut in front of the home crowd. Yeah, man. I mean,
Look, my big takeaway from today was Maxey. Like you said earlier, he turned into a three-headed monster. And the fact that we got Harden probably for another 3-4 years, I mean, we're looking at making this kid, he looks like a young Kyrie tonight, You saw that 360 step back three. It's in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was great.
But, I mean, this is unreal. He jumped
man.
10% in three-point shooting.
Yeah, and
so...
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I have a question. Who do you like in the buyout market?
I mean, who got bought out? Like, I know DeAndre Jordan cleared waivers. That's really the only name that I heard.
I'm looking at wings, and apparently TJ Warren is on the block, and I know he hasn't been back yet, but I mean, as a wing, look, Thybulle, great. He's really progressing. Looks better with James, but there's going to need to be lineups where you can have a bucket at the three that's not Danny Green or Furkan,
Oh, I mean, listen,
Warren can come back.
Yeah, if TJ Warren's healthy, 10 times out of 10, you'd take him off your bench. Absolutely. That guy was a bucket. But what was his injury? I haven't seen him play for like 2 years, I feel like.
I forget, but he was supposed to come back earlier this year, and then like his second day of practice or something, he re-aggravated it, and now he's still like week to week.
He must have like tore his ACL or something after the bubble. I don't even know.
It was bad. He hasn't played since the bubble.
That's wild because he lit us up in the bubble with 59 points, I think, in that one game.
Yeah, he kind of did what, the entire Phoenix team did in the bubble, just went absolutely out of their mind crazy, way different than the rest of the season. I think if we could get a guy like that, like a spark plug off the bench, kind of like what Maxey did for us last year, give us that energy in those big late fourth quarter games. Yeah, that's something we need. I really wanted to get Norman Powell, if I had known they were trying to get rid of him.
Yeah. He got traded, right?
Yeah, but they gave him away for nothing.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. They gave him to the Clippers
for nobody. Yeah. I mean, if we knew they were offloading him, I would have put together a package right there for him and then give the rest for James. We had Norman Powell out there. I mean, that's the best starting five since Golden State with KD.
Yeah, I think maybe Daryl was just sitting back like, I'm holding all my assets because I don't know how much this James Harden thing is going to cost, but I'm getting him no matter what. Like, I really think that was – I mean, that's pretty obvious that was his only focus. It would have been nice for him to pull off 2 or 3 trades, but, it is what it is.
Hey, look, I'm not going to complain. This guy has been nothing but money since we got him. We somehow flipped it. We flipped Josh Richardson. Who's our center last year? Dwight Howard. We flipped Josh Richardson and Dwight Howard, in theory, for James Harden. Because Christ knows Ben ain't playing.
Yeah. Realistically, listen, I had a tweet tonight that I said, I can't believe we watched Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, and Al Horford on the floor together. Those 4 players on the floor together, do we even, fathom how atrocious that is? Even thinking about it, just the spacing and how bad all 4 of those guys are at spacing the floor. And Daryl Morey came in here and was just all right, getting rid of this guy, flipping this for this, for this, for this. He just fixed the whole thing.
Well, I mean, for the exact reason, that 1 year, for that year alone, Elton Brand should have been fired. Yeah. Elton Brand signed Al Horford to the Albatross contract, going for Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler on a signing trade. And apparently we never offered Jimmy the Supermax deal. We gave it to Tobias. We even offered it to Jimmy.
No, Jimmy wanted
to leave. How he
Jimmy wanted to leave. Jimmy wanted to leave because once he realized there's a lot of this organization before Daryl Morey, because Daryl Morey has power, but before a GM that had actual power, there's 3 billionaire owners that had their hands in the pot doing way too much. It was kind of like the Howie Roseman, hiring a coach that he knows is just going to be a yes man. That's how it was. They just hired coaches like Brett Brown, give him another 3 years so he can do what we say. And I just think Brett Brown and Elton Brand, I've slandered both of them to death, but I really think it was the ownership of this organization more so than anything, just basically telling them what to do. And that might be why Elton Brand's still here, because they might be all right, bro, we're not going to fire you because it was our fault. You know what I mean? That really might be it. But Daryl Morey comes in and it's somebody you got to respect. So they're all right, cool, we got a guy now we can step back and not put our hands in. There's so many things that happened that just don't make any sense. There's no way a basketball mind did all of those things. I think it was seriously rich people thinking they were playing 2K with a real NBA team.
Well, Josh Harris has a history of this. I mean, he also owns the New Jersey Devils. I'm going to be honest with you. I want an owner like Mark Cuban where they're fully invested in their one team, whereas Josh Harris, this is another account in his portfolio, which is why I'd like to see Michael Rubin step up and take a bigger role because he's actually invested in Philadelphia basketball. I think for Josh Harris, it's kind of like the Devils. It's just to add to his portfolio. It's venture capitalist,
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
the only reason the only reason he buys a sports team is to make a profit. And the thing is, you don't have to win to make a profit. You're going to make a profit anyway because of inflation. But he's now realizing how much more of a profit he's making with a superstar lineup like this. You know what I mean? It went through the roof. You got James Harden, and it's bam, jersey sales, ticket sales, everything.
Oh, it's genius. But before I go, I do want to bring up. Look, I believe this is our year? Yes, I believe our matchup, we are a better version of the Bucks. You go down the lineup, I take Maxey over Drew this season. I obviously Harden over Middleton. Obviously Embiid over Giannis. We are a more deep, more stacked team than them. I think we could go far. But that being said, I think next year is our money year. I think next year, more time to gel. Max year older. Embiid will still be in his prime. Harden's still going to be balling. But I believe Daryl Morey is going the second free agency opens over the summer. I think he's going to go all in on dumping Tobias, kind of like Horford. Maybe give up 2031 picks. Who cares?
I think he is
right.
Too, yeah.
And then, look, at this point, your pitch to any team in the league is, look, you got the best player in the league in Joel Embiid. Harden will instantly make you a star. Maxey is a star. Is there any 3 or 4 in the NBA that wants to go get a free chip? I'm sorry, people are going to sign up. People are coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're going to attract veterans. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, man. So yeah, if they pull it off this year, then they're only going to get stronger next year. So this could be a nice little 5-6 year run where we are a threat to win it every single time.
But I'm looking past that, man, because I think we can't forget the fact that with the trajectory Maxey is on, objectively, if you look at the history of players, they're averaging this many points per game in their second year, shooting 40% from three, this kind of doubling their stats every year. Maxey, we have a good 10 years of this kid being the face of a franchise. And guess what? If he keeps developing the way he is, more and more stars are going to play with him.
That's why it was so important for Daryl Morey to keep him in that trade. It's unbelievable that he pulled this off without giving up Tyrese Maxey.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you realize that Daryl Morey is the only GM in the history of pro sports, you can look this up, where when he left the Houston Rockets, he received multiple GM offers from the MLB, the NFL, and the NBA? No other GM has been offered across sports.
He's got some kind of talent, man. He's got some kind of swindling talent.
He graduated in the top of his class from Wharton Business School. I mean, the man is a business genius who's an obsession with sports. He's probably on the spectrum. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, the guy's a genius. He thinks at a different level than he's playing chess. We're playing checkers.
Yeah, he definitely
thinks
on a different
nothing
level.
but money.
And he's got balls, man. Do you know how many GMs would have given into that Ben Simmons thing and said all right, fine, I'll take this, man, just out of fear of something going wrong or the whole thing blowing up in their face. I'm amazed that he sat back as long as he did and said, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I'll sit here for 4 years. I'm not doing it. I can't believe he sat there for that long. The entire city was angry and he just sat there. Dude, you're right.
I'll never forget when Stephen A. Smith, it might have been Colin Cowers, one of those two talking heads, that said, the Sixers messed up. They should have traded Ben when they could for Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert. Remember that? That we missed out on that. Daryl Morey. But here's the craziest one. This will really blow your mind. How about the fact that when he wanted James Harden, when James Harden is 30 years old, fresh out of Houston, he could have gotten him. All he had to do is include Maxey. But at the time, Maxey is averaging less than half of these stats. He's averaging, 6, 7 to 8 points per game, getting 12 to 14 minutes a night. And Daryl Morey said, I'm not getting James Harden for Maxey. I know exactly what I have here. No one else did. Daryl Morey knew exactly what he had.
Everyone would have given that up.
A year to break out.
Yep. And I was saying this the other night that when he traded for James Harden coming off the bench in OKC, nobody in the world knew how good James Harden was at the time besides him.
Oh, but James said that in an interview. He said, look, they said, what is your deal with Daryl Morey? He's not your coach. You have this crazy bond with him, though. And he said, Daryl Morey saw something in me that I knew was in me, and no one else believed it except for that guy. And I owe him for that. That's why Harden wanted to come here. It's a guy that believes. The guy sees talent a way we don't. I mean, he knows this. And, I'm not out on Jaden Springer. The kid is a child. At this point, I'm like, if Daryl Morey drafted him, I believe in him. I don't even know what else to say anymore. I don't know. I can't slander anything until I don't know. If Daryl Morey drafted him, there's something. Because it's crazy that people want to question, but at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. The guy's been nothing but money for us. And with Maxey and Thybulle and the picks he has made, with Maxey in the last 2 years, we are set up for a decade, and that's what we need to focus on. It's all gravy from here.
Absolutely, man. You're absolutely right. That's the amazing part about this. I watched this team suck for 20 years. I believe that I get it. I believe that I now have at least the next 10 to enjoy.
Hey, I don't know if you remember. I called you about in December, and I told you, everyone's like, trade Ben December 15th, trade him. And I called on here. I was like, look, I sat through a 10-win season. I can sit through another 2 months. Wait and get the fucking deal. Daryl Morey knew that. If we sat through that 10 fucking win season, you better believe I'm calling up every Nets fan in my phone tonight talking shit or crap, dude. Sorry, I wasn't monetized. My bad.
No, it's good. I'm already. It's not that hard. I click one button and they redo it in like 20 minutes. It's just annoying. But
right.
You gave me a great 13-minute call, so you're allowed to drop a couple. I don't care.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate having me on. You're the man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling the show, bro. Take it easy. What a great call. What? Who is that? He said his name in the beginning. I'll have to listen back, man. And he said he follows me on Twitter. I'll have to hit him up, man. Maybe I'll just bring him on the show. I don't know. That was awesome. I could have just sat here and talked to my man for another 30 minutes. Great call. Thanks for calling the show, man. And you're absolutely right. Like, Daryl Morey has proven us all wrong. He's proven us all wrong, man. He is a genius. He has to be. There's no way you sat back with the potential of just the pressure and the fear of like, oh my God, if this blows up in my face, I'm going down in flames in as just my legacy as a GM and everything else. This guy just sat back the whole time and said, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. And the entire league was laughing at him, me included. Every time he called a team and said, we'll give you Ben for your whole roster and 17 first-round picks. Every single time he offered that to a team, they hung up right away. We all slandered him. We were all like, what the hell is this guy doing? It's because for some, and it might be this. It might be the fact that he was already talking to James Harden. That actually makes more sense now that I bring that up. Now that I bring that up, that makes more sense. Daryl Morey may have already been talking to James Harden the entire time. Way back to the first time he tried to trade for him and refused to give up Tyrese Maxey, he might have just been talking to James Harden the whole time. Because right when the rumors came out, there was another rumor that said NBA owners or GMs are preparing to tell the league to look into collusion between Daryl Morey and James Harden. So somebody knows that they were talking. And that might actually be the reason why he sat back and dicked around with everyone for 7 months, offering, yeah, we'll give you a Ben for your whole team and 17 first-round draft picks, and just wouldn't take any offers whatsoever because he knew the entire time he was getting James Harden. That actually makes more sense. Is that collusion? Of course it is. I don't care. I got James Harden on my team. Oh, man. Andy Walken, what's up, man? Thanks for the support. This team needs a backup center. I'm not a fan of any of them available. I need a guy who cannot tank this team in the 15 minutes. Yo, you're not wrong, man. And the sad part is Paul Millsap tanked the team in 5 minutes. 5 first-half minutes. The guy had 1 rebound, 2 turnovers, and was a -8 because dudes were just driving right at him and finishing. Dudes were getting offensive rebounds over the top of his head. I mean, it was horrendous. And you're absolutely right. And we got a win. And, you know, we don't want to sit here and be negative after a win. But, you know, when we talk about the playoffs and we talk about the matchups and we talk about, you know, the one caller called in and said, you know, what is your preferred playoff bracket or whatever? Like that, like I did this last year too. I'm looking at the playoffs. When you have a team that's contending, you're automatically looking at the playoffs. So you kind of almost don't really care when we beat up on the Minnesota Timberwolves or whatever. If this was our team the whole season, we'd probably be resting players at certain points. It'd probably be like James isn't playing tonight, blah, 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 against bad teams or whatever. But it gave us a new level of excitement getting James in the trade, obviously. But you're looking at the playoffs and you're trying to analyze the team and you want them to have the best opportunity possible so that makes you look at the team's weaknesses and say, the weakness is the backup center. The weakness is a ball handler off the bench. It can't be Furkan Korkmaz. There's no way. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Hey.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I follow you on Twitter as well, and I always catch all your shows, man. I got to make a comment on what JJ Redick was saying. How he said basically Iverson gives it up to the young group right now. And with Bubba Chuck doing that, man, that's encouraging to all them young cats.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because Iverson was like in an era that this team wasn't good way before Iverson. Like, they drafted Charles Barkley. That thing didn't work out. Jerry Stackhouse was decent, but this team wasn't good way before Iverson. Like, 83 and on, Iverson, the team still wasn't good, and Iverson just drug them into the finals because he was that amazing at 5'10", $160. Like, this team hasn't been good for a long time. So Allen Iverson was the only one in the last, 30 years that took him anywhere. So he's such an iconic figure in this city, and the fact that he understands that and embraced the fans and loves the fans as much as they love him back, it's an amazing relationship between Iverson and the fans, and he's like the spokesperson for the Sixers fans. You know what I mean? So he welcomes a player. It's like you've earned the rite of passage. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's well stated, because I'm gonna tell you, I remember when Barkley was here, and he had Mahorn and all these other Gilliam and Scrubs. I mean, dude, I go way back. I mean, when Doc got old, it's like the whole team got old at one time. Barkley came in that year after they won a championship.
Yeah, 80,
and it
80,
just went
80,
downhill.
84.
But yeah, we won in 83.
Yeah.
We won in 82, 83. Then after Barkley came that following year, it just seemed like everybody got old. Moses Malone left, my eye, and all this, Bobby Jones and Ivoroni and Richardson, and I mean, it was mayhem after them. After they won a championship and lost to New Jersey, it was just awful.
Yeah, I started watching in 95, and all that I knew was Jerry Stackhouse. I just thought, there's Jerry Stackhouse. That's the guy that's good on this team. That's all I knew. And then we drafted Iverson the next year, and they didn't really – they failed to put a star next to him his entire career.
Yeah. But, bro, I'm going to tell you, the thing for me is simply this, man. I look at J.J. Redick, and somebody said it on Twitter. They said it's basically like this. They said he should come out of retirement, just like old boy came out of retirement for the Rams, and let J.J. Redick, because J.J. Redick coming off that screen and hitting those threes.
He could, but, he said I'm not in basketball shape, and when you watch him play, his game is a lot of 99% is running off ball, you know what I mean? Having that conditioning.
Yes, sir.
But it wouldn't take him long to get back there.
No, he just need to get in basketball shape, because that IQ, he loved playing with him. He loved playing with Embiid. He loved playing with him. But even looking at our team right now, I mean, I see, I think we've commented on it before. We're never going to get beyond that contract with Tobias. Never. But the thing is, you can see his game coming rounded into shape. But for me, I'm going to tell you, with Najee number 20, it looks like he should be the starting power forward, because he's going to shoot that ball. I don't care where. He don't have a conscience.
Oh, Niang.
Yeah, Niang. He don't have a conscience at all.
No, yeah, and that's exactly what you need, man. He'll just let it fly. He'll go 0 for 10. If he catches another open one, he's shooting it.
Exactly. Because one thing about the offense, people don't understand. It's all to attract attention to Embiid and Harden. Those shooters are in areas to space that floor, which we couldn't get when we played 5-on-4 last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And especially you add Harden. That's what you need is floor spacers.
Yeah, that's why even with Simmons, they play 4-on. You would say it every I could count on it. We play 4-on-5 every night, because nobody's going to even guard him coming past the free throw line.
It was terrible.
And I'm like,
we watched that for so long. It was unbelievable.
Man, I listened to you. It was like you kept preaching to me. It's like I'd wake up. Oh, he didn't take a jumper again. I'm like, what in the world? Hey, bro, a mid-range. That's all you don't need to shoot, a mid-range, something. It was disgusting.
It was painful, and it felt like it was never going to end. And I hated every second of it, and it's finally over.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. I'm like, it's like a dream. And I wake up into reality when I see Harden on the court.
It's crazy.
And I mean,
it's crazy.
It is crazy, bro. It is absolutely crazy because I've had my family dog me for years. Dog me. You're a Sixers fan. Yes, I am. I don't care. I'm ride or dying with the Sixers. And I've been a Sixer fan since Julius Erving, since they had Bobby Jones, since they had Ivaroni. I'm a Sixer fan. Don't die a Sixer fan. And my mom then would just give it to me. Yeah, we the Lakers. We keep winning championships. So what? Now I see y'all in the doldrums right now.
Yeah, I think I have over 50 Sixers hats, and I used to get, like, people would be like, "Are you really a Sixers fan?" I'm like, "Yes." What are you talking about? Oh, I thought you were just wearing the hat. I'm like,
man,
so
bro, I got to give you some props on that black Sixer hat you got on tonight. Man, that mug is hot.
Thank you.
I got to get back up on my Sixers gear because I got my profile picture where I have my old Sixers shirt on, my Sixer hat. I was like, oh man, I let my Sixer guard fall down. Boy, I got to get. You know what I got to get? The process complete. My brother and I already been talking about it. We got to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to. I got a new design.
Yeah.
I got a new design coming out too in a couple weeks.
Oh man, bro, those gonna sell hot out the box. If it was Christmas, you would be making a killing.
Wait till you see this next one, man. I'm taking it to the next level.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. My brother's going to be hot that I talk to you. He didn't get a chance to talk to you because he's like, yeah, I'm going to call it. We're going to call it little brother, big brother, man. I said, hey, man, it'll call it anything. And I told him when I turned him on to you, I said, this is the highest dude in Philly right now, man, because he's like talking to one of us. Like we just conversating. And, man, it's just like talking to my brother about the Sixers.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did it, man. You know what I mean? Thanks, man. I appreciate your kind words, man.
Bro. Hey, I appreciate you. Be cool, bro.
All right, man. Later. Great callers on the late night after a Wednesday night win over the Knicks, man. I always forget to put the thing down, and then the thing rings out loud, man. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
We got lost in the convo. I forgot to add something.
Yo, go ahead, man. What's up?
So there's a rumor about James Harden that really needs to be dispelled. I went through all the stats today of every playoff game he's had. And this rumor that James Harden disappears in the playoffs is straight up a freaking lie. I mean, if you go through the numbers, James Harden in the last year he was hurt. Of his last 7 healthy years, he averages over 27 points per game in the playoffs. Every single year he's lost in the playoffs, he's been severely outgunned. That is before Chris Paul when they lost to Portland, when LaMarcus Aldridge was averaging over 30 and they had Lillard. Then it's the Golden State Warriors when he had Chris Paul, when they had a super team. And then it was the Spurs with Kawhi and that whole crew. And he was outgunned because Capella got hurt in that series. I mean, you look at James Harden, yeah, he hasn't made to the finals yet, made to the Western Conference Finals, but he hasn't made to the finals yet. Everyone likes to knock him, saying he's a choke artist. You could have made that same argument against Chris Paul up until last year.
Yeah.
And now everyone's calling Chris Paul the greatest point guard ever. Let's keep that same energy.
Yeah, everybody wants to give individual accomplishments. It's the same way they give a quarterback's like win-loss record. It's a team game. So many things matter. Like all your teammates matter. The fit matters. What players you were playing with. How do they complement your game? How do you complement theirs? Everything matters. The guy played with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Then he played with Chris Paul, who's another point guard. Then he played with Russell Westbrook, who's another point guard, but like is a guy that shoots you out of games and doesn't benefit you at all. And he finally plays with a center that demands attention and can be the star of the show. Like, this is the most perfect fit of his entire career.
Well, I completely agree. And I really think, though, that when you look at – so Harden has been outgunned every year in the playoffs. I would wager right now our starting five is the best starting five in the East, if not the league. We look at Tyrese Maxey, certified bucket, James Harden, Hall of Famer, Thybulle, top 5 perimeter defender in the league, Tobias Harris, I think the only almost 20 point per game fourth option in the league, and then you have the best player in the whole league. I mean, it is an unreal starting five. For once, we're going to get to see James Harden not outgunned. And that's what's scary, because it's also the first time you've ever seen Embiid play with a teammate that actually draws a consistent double team.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It works both ways. Yep.
But also on top of that, not only is it Embiid's first time having a teammate that's like requires a second double team, it's his first time ever having a third option that can knock down any three with Tyrese Maxey of late. I mean, for the first time, we are seeing Joel, and luckily in his best year ever, finally equipped with every weapon he requires. And now you see Harden for the first time not outgunned and out to prove a point. I mean, and we've discussed Maxey and this meteoric rise. I mean, it's insane. I really think we need to take into account that Harden has carried every team he's ever been on. And I'm sorry, you look at his recent 2020 with Westbrook, 29.6 points per game, 7.7 assists, and 5.6 rebounds. That's not disappearing, that's carrying.
Exactly. And a lot of those teams, when he would have 60-point triple doubles, like you can't, and they call him a ball hog. They say, oh, this guy's a ball hog. He has the ball. Nobody in the history has ever scored 60 points in a basketball game and also had 10 assists. He's literally a facilitator by nature. Like to be scoring that many points and just have 10 assists is ridiculous. So I mean, he's always been a point guard. He's just scored so much because he had to, and he can.
For whatever reason, I feel like there's always been some media hatred towards Harden. I don't know if it's not because he's Mr. F1's Fonzie like LeBron or whatever. KD is kind of a rough around the edges guy. He doesn't get the public love that people like LeBron get, where they have the very big public persona. Harden's not one of those guys. Harden's a strip club and honey buns kind of guy. So
it's true too. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons is just this public persona off the court. And also, I think he's mastered the art of getting to the free throw line, and that's in the NBA's eyes. That's probably not good for the game. It just slows the game down. It's not very exciting to watch people shoot free throws. He mastered the art of getting to the free throw line, and that's not necessarily flapping and baiting officials. It's baiting the defender. He mastered the art of getting people to foul him, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, you said something on a podcast the other night that I really thought was a great perspective on it. Harden is going to age like fine wine. He doesn't play a high flyer game where you need to be getting elbow deep on dunks every play. He plays a lazy man's game. He plays, I'm going to beat you mentally and hit this three and jog back down.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
plays the kind of game where you get longevity. And, when you take that and you mix it with the age everyone else is going at, I mean, he can still consistently produce for everybody. And the public persona, there's also that whole, you were on 3 teams in 18 months. Well, his response is simple. I didn't say trade me to Brooklyn. That was my second choice. I wanted to come to Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Look, he wouldn't have done 3 teams, 18 months if he traded to where he wanted to go. Look, I don't think this guy's a problem. I don't hear a ton of teammates calling him out about what a jerk he is like you hear other players do. I think we really need to take this skewed media caricature of him and take it with a massive grain of salt.
I mean, he might have agreed. Like, he might have thought it was a good idea at the time, and he might have agreed. They might not have shot themselves in the foot or wanted to. They might have been like, hey, listen, we want to trade you to Brooklyn. Are you cool with that? Because Brooklyn's not going to trade for us unless you agree that you want to be there. Whatever might have happened. He might have said yes to that, and then he got there and realized, like, this is a disaster, and I don't want to be anywhere close to this, and I definitely don't want to be here for the next 5 years. So even if he changed his mind, you're still allowed to make your own life better. Like, you're still allowed to make the best decision for yourself. And he said that in the press conference. I felt like I had to make the best decision for myself moving forward at the time, and that's what I did. Like, I mean, it's not like that's the Michelle Beadle thing, is like they give up things for him and he doesn't seem to care. Like, what's he supposed to have loyalty to? I mean, what? It's your life. Do what makes you happy. You don't, I owe this team 5 years because they gave up 7 first-round draft picks. No, you don't. Unless you signed the contract.
He doesn't. No, you're 100% right. It's like, oh, man, I can't believe he doesn't want to play with a team where one dude's there half the time, and the other time he's being a vegan and thinking the earth is flat. And then your other star is made of literally, toothpicks and bubble gum. I mean, like, what do you want from the guy? He's playing by himself out there on a team devoid of a bench. Why are we going to beat Brooklyn if Kyrie can play or not? Because they have no depth and they have no picks. And whenever I feel bad about taking Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum, I think back to myself and go, I could have traded 7 first-round picks, future All-Star Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and let Spencer Dinwiddie walk, just to end up with Ben Simmons not playing, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond on the 1-year minimum deal.
That's atrocious, man. And just a couple years ago, Brooklyn gave up all of their first-round draft picks for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, who were way past their prime. And then they ended up being the worst team in the league for 2 years in a row and not owning their own first-round draft pick. They're about to be in the same situation in a couple years.
Oh, what? I mean, who is surprised? This is the Nets we're talking about. They've never won a championship. They're a joke of a franchise. I think it's hilarious. I mean, they couldn't have failed more hilariously and made us feel better about Fultz, who was back tonight, and I'm happy for him. I kind of feel bad for that kid. Ben, I hate that fraud. But Markelle, I really do think if anyone had mental health, it was that kid.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this forever. I really think he had an injury that just was weird and couldn't get back right. I mean, his shooting form never came back. It's I've never seen it before, but that's also Philly sports. It just happens.
Well, you know the deal with his mom, though, right?
What? Yeah, she passed away right when he got drafted or something, right?
No. She so he said, I can't go. He's from the East Coast originally, I think like Virginia. And he said, I can't go to Philly or Boston because my mom will follow me there. And she controlled his life.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes to Philly and she buys the house next door to him and just micromanaged this dude until he mentally broke. I mean, I was a Division I college wrestler. You see it all the time with the psycho youth wrestling parents. They ride their kids until they mentally snap. I really think that's what happened to Markelle Fultz. It's a sad thing to see, but it happens all the time. Dude, those crazy little league dads, screaming at their kid to pitch the ball at 3 a.m. on a school night.
That might be it, man. That might be it. But Markelle Fultz puts in work. You could always tell he wanted to be good. He never quit anything. Ben Simmons is a quitter.
Hey, Buddy did a double take on a free throw, but he still shot the ball. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, facts. No, man, thanks for the call again, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man. My name's Bo, by the way. Nice to meet you.
All right, man, later. 541 still in here. Hit the like button for your boy. Thank you for that. We'll take one more from Grand Rapids, Michigan. What's going on?
Yo.
What's going on, man?
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that, we getting some of the Harden rumors just out of here and gone. I'm a Harden fan, been following them since Houston, you know what I'm saying? And I was watching one of your videos, the other day, and like you said,
yeah, you called him before, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you just were saying the other day, how you didn't really used to watch Harden, you know what I'm saying? And all you used to really do was watch highlights, and that's a lot of people with a lot of different players in the league. Obviously, if it's not your favorite player, why are you going to sit there and watch the whole game? But as a Harden fan, it's just been frustrating because what the media does, as you guys are starting to see now, they kind of just plant these rumors about NBA players that like people who don't really watch them often start to believe, and it's like it's really sad and pathetic, but
it is.
They do it. But this whole thing about Harden, being like a ball hog and whatnot, not being able to play with guys, it's just completely crazy, man. And I think that he's really proven himself. Even in the playoffs, I watched every Houston series. I watched them all, whether it was against the Warriors or when they lost to San Antonio. Like, Harden really, it was just playoff ball got to that Houston team because of their lack of depth. Like, I mean, come on, you were relying on Chris Paul some of the time when they had Chris Paul, but Eric Gordon was the second option. I mean, that can't be the case. You know what I'm saying? So when he's getting doubled in the playoffs, then it's like, okay, look who he's dishing it to, man. He's dishing it out to Eric Gordon, who can't hit a shot. What do you want him to do? I mean, at that point, it's kind of, he's just to a fault, honestly. But another thing that I wanted to just add in is, I'm just a big fan of the game. So I actually took the time to go watch some Kobe and Shaq highlights from the Nets final series, and I just wanted to really just look at some of the things they did and how dominant they were. And I think that a lot of our fans are getting a little too complacent. Saying things like, we're just playing the Knicks or we're just playing the Wolves. Listen, it's not who we're playing. It's how we're playing, the style that we're playing. And I actually looked at this game against the Knicks as a playoff type of game, just for the fact that we played them back to back. They just got to see what we do, and then Tom Thibodeau had the chance to go make adjustments and go put their best effort back on the floor, and we were still able to get a win. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't, it wasn't the prettiest, but we adapted to their adjustments and we made adjustments to ultimately win the game. And I think that that's what a lot of our fans need to start to focus on a little bit more, because it's only our third game in and we're looking this great, guys. I mean, we've got a stretch of games ahead, a lot more games to get acquainted with each other. We don't even know how we'll look in 15 games, you know what I'm saying? So I just think we just got to wait and see. But honestly, the sky is the limit for this team, man. And just going back to what I've seen from Kobe and Shaq, I see a lot of the stuff that were in the highlights in Joel and Harden, and honestly, it's even a little more deadly if you ask me, just because of the fact that Joel can shoot the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, Shaq, he was just so dominant in the paint, but he couldn't stretch the floor. See, now Joel, he can stretch the floor. So
Harden's a point guard. Harden's a facilitator. Kobe wasn't. Kobe was a bucket. Kobe was a scorer. Kobe was known for just shooting the ball.
Exactly. Kobe was known for getting a bucket for sure. That's another thing that I paid attention to, is just that Kobe wasn't as good as finding guys. Honestly,
no,
Harden, I feel like. No, not at all.
Yeah, it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. Kobe didn't pass the ball.
No, facts. He didn't. I'll tell you that. And from me watching Harden earlier in his career, like in Houston, and when I seen Kobe came out and said, you feel me, that Harden really couldn't win with the style of basketball that he was playing with at the time. That's when I seen Harden really, I mean, he was always a great passer. People don't know that, but that's when I seen him really start to focus in and hone in on the passing part of the game to become like a maestro. Because before that, he was mainly scoring oriented and he just would dish it when the double would come. But now he knows how to do the tricks to draw a defense, look off defenders. I mean, he just did a fake alley-oop the other day. I mean, it's just crazy. I've seen it in one of your videos as well.
Yeah, he does a lot of creative things with the ball, man. I agree, bro. I agree.
Exactly, right.
I appreciate your take on everything, especially the Knicks, playing them 2 games in a row and them adjusting and us adjusting to their adjustment. I like that, man. It's a good point.
No, facts, man. I honestly think that we got a lot of room to grow, man, and I just want to keep saying how we find ways to win and find ways to adapt, man. So, go Sixers, man. We got to get it.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks for the call. All right, it's 11:57 p.m. I'm tired. That's a great caller, also, man, and he's right. He's right when he talks about Harden getting a bad rap in the media. He's right. He's right on a lot of things that he says. When it comes to James Harden, I don't know if I really like the Jordan and Kobe comparison. I guess if you're looking at the most dominant 2-man games of all time, you would put Jordan and Kobe in there. But like realistically, Harden plays the game not even close to the same way Kobe Bryant plays the game, and Joel Embiid doesn't really play the game the same way Shaq played the game either. Totally different players. But as far as like the best 2-man combinations that dominated teams, that's where I think the like Kobe and Shaq comparison comes from. Not that Harden plays like Kobe or that Embiid plays like Shaq, just that people are trying to say this is the next like perimeter player plus overpowered center combination that can dominate the league. Magic and Kareem, good shit, Philly Shad. So I like the comparison in that regard. But Kobe Bryant was a lethal scorer, and James Harden is a lethal scorer and a point guard combined. I don't want to overrate the guy compared to players in history or anything like that, but there's never been a player like James Harden. There just hasn't been, man. The players were always either an unbelievable, unstoppable scorer or a facilitator. You've never seen a player in the history of the game play the game the way James Harden plays it. All of his years in Houston, the average in 37, 9, and 8. 37, 9, and 8? Are you kidding me? Having 60-point triple-doubles. Nobody's ever done it before. Nobody scores 60 points and also dishes the ball 10 times. No, he has more 30-point triple-doubles than any player in history. He's a lethal scorer. His ball handles are ridiculous. He led the league in 3-point shots made 2 years in a row, by the way, also. So he's a great 3-point shooter, one of the best. He's an incredible ball handler. He's an incredible facilitator, and he can get to the rim, muscle his way to the rim. He has a low center of gravity and body control. He has everything. He has everything all in one. And I know people don't like to say that players now are better than players of the past. You've never seen it before, all in one NBA player. If that sounds crazy, it's because James Harden is crazy. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. I'm tired. But it was a good win. Tomorrow night I'm going to collab with maybe RB. I don't know if RB is going to be in there. We'll have to talk to him. Greg Melly and Romp, we're going to be in the building. We're going to do a collab tomorrow night with Greg Melly and Romp, so that'll be fun. So tune in for that. And then we got a back-to-back Friday, Saturday. So let's keep it going, man. Thanks for all the calls, man. You guys are great. Thanks for all the comments, all the comments in the chat. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the new subscriptions. Thanks for anyone that became a member. Thanks for anyone that bought the merch. We'll catch you soon, man. Peace.